Hi all. We are launching the data science course and Manish is the instructor for the course. So let me tell you about Manish. So Manish did his masters from IIT Bombay and he did his PhD from University of Illinois and currently is working as a principal researcher at Microsoft, and he has got a lot of teaching experience as well. So he has been in this area for the past 15 years and he has been now currently he is teaching at IIT Hyderabad as well as ISB as a visiting faculty. So if you want to learn anything from scratch, it is always better that we learn from a master. So with lot of experience he is coming in this area and I personally love the way he teach. So that is why we are introducing Manish here. So I'll ask Manish to tell you about what data science is.
Oh, thank you, Ravi, for the kind words, right? So, data science is growing significantly these days. It's basically, as the name says, science about data. So, if you have any kind of data, how to derive insights out of it is basically what data science is all about. So, it includes things like machine learning, AI, ML, and, all those statistics, deep learning kind of things that you might have heard of, right? But at the basic core, it's just about trying to figure out some interesting insights out of your data, right? So it's basically, you might have heard in your engineering course that processed data is called information. But that's sort of old. So in the sense, you can get information from data, but how do you get knowledge from your data, right? And based on that knowledge, how can you take actionable? How do you get actionable insights, right? So how can you basically take some actions which can benefit your business from the raw data that you're collecting is what data science is all about. So taking data and then somehow impacting your business so as to improve efficiency and effectiveness of your business. That's all.
So let me ask you one more question. Mm-hmm. So why this word data science is so trending these days?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ravi. So it turns out that people were trying to do some sort of insight finding from data for a long amount of time. But these days, what has happened? A few things have happened. In fact, first thing, a lot of data is available. So, 10 years back, not much of data was available. Now, thanks to internet, thanks to so much of, data awareness among people, data is being collected and recorded at various places, right? So that's one, right? Second, compute power is available. So earlier, if you had to do something on very large amounts of data, you just couldn't do it, right? But now, fortunately, there's a whole bunch of compute power available, right? And next, people have been very, very aware of this data science. And therefore, not just people are contributing money. So there's a lot of funding in this area, right? People are also contributing data. They are collecting data. New sensors are coming up. People are collecting data at new venues. And lastly, people are developing very awesome algorithms to process these things, right? And, this is what I therefore call as the data science era. And, I think that this is the right time to sort of get into data science if you're still not aware of data science, right? Otherwise, you're missing on one of the basic important things in life these days, right? So that's the reason. So why data science is so hot these days.
Okay. So Manish, you have been working in this area for the past 15 years and for the past 5 years you have taken up teaching. So what motivated you to get into teaching while you are working in this area?
Yeah, so that's a very awesome question, Ravi. So in fact, I've been so passionate about teaching that, as soon as I finished my PhD and returned back to India, I've been doing both the things. I mean, being in the industry as well as in academia, just don't want to leave the academia at all, right? Now, why teach about data science? So, I've been teaching at IIT Hyderabad and ISB, but, I somehow always realized that, hey, why am I limiting this knowledge to so small set of people? Why not sort of democratize it and make it available to everyone who wants to get into data science, right? And in fact, every day I get so many requests from people so that, can I do a project with you? Can I sort of, can you please explain this to me? And it would have been very nice if we could initiate into machine learning. How do we get started with this thing, right? And I thought that this is such a nice channel to sort of, reach out to a lot of people, although, after spending some time into it, right? Now, there are multiple kinds of people who have been approaching me. So undergrads who basically, who have some kind of courses in their colleges. Not all colleges still have machine learning courses, right? In undergrad, right? So this kind of thing gives undergrads ability to learn about what is hot right now, even though their colleges don't provide such education, right? So that's one, right? And as an undergrad, you might be working on various projects. Frankly, let me tell you, projects with machine learning are hot, and projects with data science and all these kind of new technologies are so awesome, right? Rather than typical boring projects, in traditional kind of things, right? So that is one of the motivations why I want to do this, right? And the second thing, even if you're doing, say, masters, you might be doing masters also from very good universities, but many times what happens is that you know that concept, but you don't know it in enough detail so that you can carry on in that area and form a nice thesis or do better research, right? So that is one of the other motivations, right? So as to basically, if you're a master's student, then I think this course will help you clarify some of those concepts which you thought you knew, right? But you may not know in enough depth, right? And knowing concepts is one thing, but being able to link them is another. So, you have some concepts, you can link them with other concepts, and then you feel, wow, right? So that kind of thing doesn't come up until you really know things in depth, right? So that's another thing, right? Now, even for folks, in fact, the third kind of things that I'm going to talk about are the people who are majority in some senses, right? There are a whole bunch of experienced folks, right? They have like 15 years, 20 years of experience in the domain. And now the problem is that all of the companies want to do data science, right? Now these guys just don't know anything ABC about data science. So they do want to get started somewhere, okay? And the problem that they face, they don't have time. Okay. One thing, they don't have time. Second, the content is so much, they don't know where to start from, right? So essentially, it's just so widespread. You go to internet, you'll find like hundreds of and thousands of portals which talk about such things, right? Where do you get such a nice, how do you know where to start from? Okay. And by the nature of the subject itself, it's such that you can start from a particular point, but as soon as you start reading a particular topic or a blog, you will soon realize that one, it is not complete. Second, it uses terms which you won't understand. So, then you have to go back, look up those and so on. Okay. So what I wanted to really do is to, create a nice sort of a track based on which people can sort of follow it through and learn in a systematic way, right? So that they learn at step 1, step 2, step 3, step-by-step learning rather than a haphazard kind of learning, going here and there and trying to figure out some of the other things, right? Especially for folks who don't have too much of time, this is probably the best way to learn, okay? So these are the things that sort of motivate me to start teaching this one, right? And hope that I live up to the expectations.
So Manish, what are the prerequisites for this course? Let us say I am a BTech student and I have never done anything related to machine learning at all or data science. So what are the things that I should be knowing before I start off with this course?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So yeah, that's a very important point that, and that's what also I had in mind when I was trying to design this course, right? That this course should really reach to the masses. So it should be really applicable to everyone who wants to sort of understand something about machine learning and data science, right? And, so the prereqs practically, if you have, so the only prereq is really you should be motivated to learn data science, right? So, if you don't have that motivation, it will be very difficult for you to complete the entire thing, right? So basically be motivated, right? And so in the course, we are going to start off with Python and R as well. So it's not completely on just machine learning and all those difficult to understand concepts that you might think of, right? But it's also about basics of Python and starting from Python and R. Okay. But it will help if you have a programming bent of mind. So in the sense that if you have done any kind of basic programming. Now I know a whole bunch of folks who learn C, C++, Java in computer science, but I also know many people who learn very basic programming for fun in various streams, right? So if you have some programming bent of mind, that will help. But in general, I've designed the course in a way that it should be suitable even for people who don't like programming. Okay, so and this is especially because I know a lot of people who would come to my classes, especially in ISB, right? They don't want to get into programming, and they don't need to really, right? So they are basically, these guys are like VPs and managers at various places. They are not going to code at all, right? And so therefore, I've designed the course in a way that, hey, if you like to code, well, you can make use of the coding exercises that we have and so on. But if you don't like to code, still you'll be able to understand a significant part of the course. Okay, and in fact, if you learn to code, that we'll also teach as part of the course, and as part of the Python and R part of the course. Okay, so that's about prereqs. Yeah.
Manish, can you briefly tell me about how did you design the course? Like what the syllabus is going to be, and what are you going to provide as a part of the course?
Okay, so data. How did I design this course? That's a good point, right? And let me tell you a nice story. So the point is that data science. I actually started thinking, what does one need to know about data science if one wants to make a mark in this world, right? If they have to do something worthwhile, maybe let's say do a project or do a good job in some company, or just submit a very nice BTech project or submit a research paper. What is it that one needs to do with data science? One needs to know about data science, right? And that's why I first started by thinking that, hey, if you don't know any kind of programming, then it's sort of you will know the topic, but you will not know the depth of it. And therefore I thought that hey, let me first introduce with Python and R. Okay, so those are the two hot programming languages for data science, and that's where we will start. Okay, and then although people call it data science, but the core of it is really machine learning, right? So therefore we'll cover in detail topics around machine learning, both supervised, unsupervised, classification, regression, clustering, dimensionality reduction, PCA, all those kinds of things, right? And then I thought maybe it's a good idea to cover some applications. So by applications I just don't mean those shallow applications that a lot of blogs around will also talk about, or not like really projects or something, but more like core things, right? For example, data mining, which basically uses a whole bunch of classifiers that machine learning might be producing, or even web mining, text mining kind of things, which have a lot of interesting stuff within themselves, and also they are good applications of some machine learning methods, right? So therefore we'll talk about text mining, right? About other kinds of things like data mining as well, and then finally we will also talk about deep learning, because among this entire zoo of data science, right, deep learning is the newest entry, and it has become so hot these days that, hey, if you have deep learning on your resume, you can very easily get a very good job. Okay, of course you should know also deep learning, but you can easily make it there. Okay. So that's why we'll cover deep learning basics as well, right? And lastly, no data science story can be complete without good visualization. You can do a whole bunch of hard work, but without visualization, you can't get those brownie points, right? So therefore, we will talk in short about visualization as well. Okay, so that's going to be the schedule of the course. So or rather, that's how I have sort of designed the course, right? Now about what is the plan around delivering it. So it is going to be a video based course, so I'm going to talk, and you guys have to basically be attentive and go through these videos. I would really prefer if you go through them in a sequence, that I have tried to design them. They're really aligned, or the sequence has been designed such that it starts from basic concepts, goes to more difficult to understand concepts, and so on. Okay, whenever the concept is too difficult to understand, I've tried to sort of give a warning in the beginning of the video saying that, hey, this is difficult content, you might want to skip. So you can skip those. But but those are rare. So those are basically very few. Okay, so therefore, what I would say is listen to those videos. Okay, and you can listen to them multiple times. If you cannot, if you don't understand something in one go, listen to it multiple times. Now, while watching those videos, after you've watched them, we will have quizzes. Okay, so you'll have quizzes with almost every video, right? And I would really motivate you to go through those quizzes. That will, so this is basically like self-appraisal in some senses, right? So, after you're done with the course, you want to sort of check how good you are doing. So, how much you have understood from the course, right? So, therefore, go through these short quizzes, okay? And of course, while going through these videos, although I've tried to make it as clear as possible, but there might be some questions that might come to your mind, okay? And in those cases, I think what helps is that you should email us, right? You should basically get in touch with us over email. And when you register for the course, we'll share an email ID with you on which you can get in touch with us, right? Lastly, as part of this course, I'll also be putting up a few assignments and projects. Now, the point is that you can learn a whole bunch of these things. You can understand how a programming language works. You can understand how an algorithm works, how a field has developed in general. But, nothing can beat doing a project by yourself, okay? So, if you do this project by yourself, you will actually learn it much more. You know where it is applicable. You will also be able to figure out real-life applications of this thing, right? So, therefore, we will also be putting in assignments and mini projects associated with the content, as you go over these videos, or sometimes even after you have gone over the videos, you might want to look at these assignments and projects as well, okay? So I think that's broadly how the course is going to be, I think the way we have designed, we've tried to be like as complete as possible with respect to the data science area, with respect to the basics for sure, right? Which is what you want to really know in general to work in this area, right? And as far as the way we are going to conduct is concerned, we are trying to make the best out of a remote course. So the way you can sort of do a course remotely, but in the best way possible. Okay.
So Manish, as a student, while going through the videos, if I get any doubt, how are you going to resolve those doubts?
Oh, great. Thanks for asking this, Ravi. Yeah, that's an important question. So, I think the course is designed as such that it's a self-learning based course. So, and try to clarify things as much as possible. So, it's a self-learning course. One can go through the videos, do the quizzes, look at the projects and assignments, and do it all by themselves. Right? It's more like DIY. Right? But in case you have any questions, right, students, if they have any questions, they can always get in touch with us over email, right? So we have a very awesome team of working professionals, right? And these guys have been into data science area for quite some time. So, to the best of their ability and knowledge, they are going to, support you anytime you have any question related to the content we cover. So that's that, right? It's majorly a self-learning course, but we are there to help you. Okay.
Can you briefly tell us how do I get benefited by this course? Let's say if I'm a BTech student and if I'm doing this course, how will it add value to my resume? Or let's say I'm an MTech student or MS, I'm doing MS in US. Right. So if I do this course, how is it going to help me, get a job? Or let's say I'm a working professional, I'm not into machine learning area, but I'm working in some other domain. And now if I learn this course, how is it going to help in my career? This particular course.
Okay, so who all can benefit from this course? I think, for BTechs especially, you're just starting up. So first you can do very good projects based on this course. You will no longer be doing boring projects, very awesome, nice machine learning data science projects, right? And get good grades, right? Second, you can join companies at a better salary level because most companies these days have software engineers and machine learning engineers. Now, machine learning engineers are usually paid more, right? And third, you have a good chance of getting into really good startups. So there are many startups in this area. And they usually don't offer trainings as such. They will want you to learn by yourself. So rather than doing that, you might upfront prepare yourself for machine learning. So for master students, it is going to be useful in your research. So you may think that you know these topics somewhat, but this course is going to make you understand them at an in-depth level. So that's how, for masters, it's going to be useful. For working professionals, data science is hot, so you might want to switch over from your current professions to data science, and this is where learning this course is surely going to help. But hey, if you don't want to switch over too, still data science is mandatory in some senses everywhere now. It is a mandatory requirement in some sense. Everyone wants to do data science, right? So therefore, it will be really useful for you to learn and see how you can add this data science knowledge into your current sector or current projects. Right. So that's how it's going to be important.
Now I'll just try to summarize what Manish was trying to say. So this course, data science, is roughly around 200 hours of course, and here we are not expecting that you know anything. So there are no prerequisites at all. If you know some coding, that is enough. Otherwise also, even without that, Manish is teaching R and Python in detail. So whatever R and Python are required for data science, he's teaching it for roughly 40 hours. So without any knowledge about Python or R or data science, you can just register for the course and everything will be taught from the scratch. So that is one thing. And along with every video, we are also providing quiz. So quizzes will be provided, and also at the end of the course we are going to provide mini projects. So not major projects, mini projects. Now these projects will help you get hands-on. So for example, if you have learnt a concept and now if you want to apply it into some problem, so that way the mini projects are going to help you out. And for BTech students who don't know anything, they can learn almost things required to do a major project in their final year. And also if you put this course and a project in your resume, it is going to give you better chances. For example, if there are two students and one student is not having any knowledge in machine learning and the other student has put up a project in machine learning along with this course, then definitely the companies which need that machine learning knowledge, they will pick up the other student with a better jobs. And also we know that compared to a normal software engineer, data scientist posts are having 30% more salaries. And for MTech students, before joining your MTech, if you could gain some insights into machine learning, it will make your life easy in your masters. So it will help you do a better research in your masters. So it is nothing but preparing yourself earlier. And also for working professionals who want to change their job position, let's say you are a software developer and if you want to get into data scientist position, then this course is going to be very, very helpful. So we are also going to provide you mini projects in this course. So the mini projects are going to give you more insights about how to take Python and R and how to apply the machine learning knowledge to the real world problem. Okay, fine.